Greetings, citizens of Nindie Nation, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Nindie Nation podcast. I'm Jeff, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Because there were barely any new games released last week, the episode was shifted into a Black Friday special focused on all of the games on sale from last week's incredible eShop sale. I hope you enjoyed that and took a look at the YouTube video as well, because I spent a lot of time on that thing. This week, on episode 48, covering December 6th through December 12th, we're back to the regular shenanigans. So for those of you new to the show, Nindie Nation is your weekly destination covering everything independently developed for the Nintendo Switch. We'll start with new release indie games and then look at what sales are currently available and worth your digital dollar. And it'll be interesting to see if there are any good deals left after Black Friday. For more Nindie Nation content, check out our YouTube channel where you'll find the Let's Play series and other feature videos. Of course, we're also on Facebook and Twitter at Nindie Nation if you want to chat directly, and I hope you do. As you know, Nindie Nation is brought to you by the Nintendo Village, and over the next few weeks, you'll see us merge closer and closer together, starting with my upcoming Children of Morta review and video, which you'll be able to check out over at thenintendovillage.com. While you're there, be sure to check out their other reviews, feature articles, and weekly podcasts. Before we get started talking about the future of indies on the Switch, let's take a look at a few of the titles that have released since we last talked. Here are a few of the noteworthy titles released since our last standard episode. Strike Force Kitty is a new light-hearted platformer from No Gravity Games that comes loaded with machine gun-toting cats, light RPG elements, and a $5 price tag. Squanch Games have ported previously VR-only title Trover Saves the Universe, which is the game made by one of the Rick and Morty creators, Justin Roiland. It's $30 and looks absolutely bonkers. Just know that this is not one for kids, and if Rick and Morty is your thing, this game probably is as well. Tools Up, with an exclamation point, wants to be the center of your next game night with frantic multiplayer gameplay similar to Overcooked but geared towards more home renovation, and it looks like a blast for $20. Big Pharma is a genius-looking sim game by Positech that takes the approach of Roller Coaster Tycoon or SimCity, but puts you in the shoes of a big pharmaceutical company CEO. Do you lack enough ethics and humanity to turn illness into a booming business? Find out for $30 because, of course, the game about Big Pharma is the most expensive of this entire segment. EarthNight is a $15 title from Cleaversoft that was featured a lot in the last Indie Direct, and you'll probably remember it from its unique, dreamlike, hand-drawn 2D style that blends elements from just about every type of 2D genre. I'm definitely keeping my eye on EarthNight. Defenders of Ekron Definitive Edition sounds like a really neat title that I might have to pick up for $13. Developed by In Vitro Games, Defenders of Ekron looks like a typical but graphically impressive shoot-'em-up where you fly around in a spaceship blowing everything up, but apparently it also blends in adventure and exploration. So instead of just being on a constantly scrolling gauntlet of enemies, you'll control which direction you go, sometimes picking up different corridors, levels, or stopping to explore secret areas for new equipment, and I think it looks really cool. And finally, another title for you and your friends to scream at each other over, Must Dash Amigos comes to us by a new developer, Mini Beast, and for $17.99, you and your friends can enter the colorful world of top-down battle racing across huge, colorful courses being chased by just about every Mexican stereotype there is. Let me know if you'd like to see some of this game because their publisher reached out asking me if I'd like to check it out, and it's not so much my shtick, but I'd check it out if you guys wanted to hear some thoughts. Thank you, eShop. I know we weren't seeing eye to eye for a couple of weeks there, and after those subpar weeks gearing up to Thanksgiving, even these leftovers show a ton of promise. I'm glad we were able to work all of this out, Mr. eShop, and now it's time to take a look at what's coming out on your electronics shop over the next week. Here's what you can pick up starting on December 6th. Breathing Fear is a new spooky side-scrolling survival game by Dragius, launching with an introductory price of only $2.49. Breathing Fear was an award winner at this year's Game Jam conference for their use of music and atmosphere, not just jump scares, to create a truly scary game about exploring the small, pixelated world around you before the lights go out. By Cubic Games and Vivid Games comes a really exciting new cooperative twin-stick shooter for only $5. Space Pioneer reminds me a lot of the PS4 title Helldivers. If that's too deep of a cut, Space Pioneer is a twin-stick shooter with a focus on hunting bounties and capturing control points. It looks action-packed with a vivid sci-fi aesthetic, and I might have to pick this game up myself this week. And the hits keep on coming with a great Souls-like hack and slash developed by TW Games and published by Monster Couch. Immortal Planet looks like the cel-shaded roguelike cousin of Bastion or Transistor. If you're familiar with Supergiant's games, I get a major vibe of their newest title currently in PC Early Access called Hades. Immortal Planet looks like an endless dungeon with risky combat and constant progression, even when you fail and start over, and at $13.49, I'm thinking of cashing in my gold points for this one too. And as you can tell, we're already off to a great start this week. And with only one title launching this coming Monday, December 9th, I'm really glad that it's currently included with Xbox Game Pass. Ashen, the open-world 3D action RPG by A44, takes a fairly standard third-person action game with a bit of roguelike mechanics and throws in a really interesting twist. As you play Ashen, you'll run into passive multiplayer characters. You can choose to ignore them, join their hunts, or even invite them back to your camp where they'll turn into a unique NPC, complete with crafting abilities and other benefits to your character and your home base. Ashen is a pretty cool game, and I've played a bit of it, but I know that it's launching for $40, and I've seen that when games on the Switch are also on the Xbox Game Pass, they are much more likely to drop in price on all other platforms. So I do recommend Ashen, and I bet it would be even better on the Switch, but I think you should probably hold off until it's $20 or $30, especially with a title being that pricey. You know, it's not because it isn't worth it. I just think it's going to be on sale pretty soon, and I will definitely let you know when that sale comes. On Tuesday, the hits don't stop with the hugely anticipated final chapter of the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, dropping with Shovel Knight King of Cards and the new Shovel Knight Showdown Fighter. Yacht Club Games has been mighty busy on this series for the last 6 years, and the time has come to finish the story. I've said my piece about Shovel Knight many times on this show. I think you know how much I love this series. While you can buy both games for $10 each, they are both included with the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, as well as the other 3 parts of the Shovel Knight series. So if you haven't played Shovel Knight before, go grab the Treasure Trove for $25 and get ready for one hell of a great time. I know I can't wait to dig in. See what I did there? So here I am working on this week's podcast, and I had some impressions ready to type out for Riverbond, the upcoming super cute HD pixelated hack and slash game from indie newcomer Coco Cucumber. Whoa, I rhymed. Anyways, I was about to suggest that it could be a fun little game, but was arguing that it probably wasn't worth $25. And then that night, I played it. I played a good little bit of it, probably like an hour and a half. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what the this game is. Yes, it does top-down hack and slash action, and it uses art like we've seen in 3D Dot Game Heroes, which I've recently learned is called Voxel Art. But the game is just mindless and boring. There's no progression. There doesn't really seem to be any stakes or anything worth collecting other than score chasing. And I don't know, I captured my gameplay and I might do a video on it in the future, but for now, just know that even though this game looks really cool, I found it to be really boring. And with the way it lays out this level-based progression, it makes the game feel very disconnected, especially when there are so many great games in this genre already at your fingertips. Anyways, if you're into detective games, and who isn't, well, I'm not. But we've got a big one coming out that same day with Pendulo Studios' Blacksad Under the Skin. Looking like a comic book brought to life, Blacksad puts you in the shoes of a detective for hire investigating a recent death in 1950s New York City where everyone is an anthropomorphized cat or other small furry animal. It's wild. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can see what I mean when I say all of the characters look fantastic with human-like dimensions, yet they're cats or foxes or squirrels or whatever. You'll investigate crime scenes and interview suspects, piece together a big puzzle, and make tough decisions that drastically change the outcome of the game, and it launches this week with a AAA level of production and a AAA price of $49.99. And at the end of the week, we've got 4 titles to keep those Joy-Cons synced, and they all look pretty decent. We're finally going for quality over quantity this week on the eShop, and I love to see such a high caliber of a lineup. We start December 12th with a highly acclaimed definitive edition finally coming to Switch called Jamestown Plus by Final Form Games. If you're like me, you'll hear the tagline alone and be sold. It's a 4-player arcade action shoot-'em-up taking place in 17th century British colonial Mars. Doesn't that sound cool? It really looks like it is. Jamestown Plus is only $15 and has an absolutely gorgeous pixel art style that I can really only describe as a 16-bit game but running on customized arcade hardware at the time. I will say that most reviews call out that this game is awesome to play with friends, but is a little lackluster going solo, but there's a dynamic difficulty to make the game inviting for those who may not be as experienced in this type of game. Jamestown Plus has a plus because a bunch of added content that was released over the course of the last couple of years are included as well. If you've got a couple of friends to sit on the couch and play through this with, Jamestown Plus looks like a great arcade-like experience that is well worth the $15 asking price. SuperEpic, The Entertainment Wars, launches at a discount for $16.19 by another newcomer to Nindies called Numbskull Games. It's a side-scrolling action game with another great pixelated art style, and the premise is just hilarious. Here's how Numbskull details SuperEpic, The Entertainment Wars. Video games are dead. In a not-too-distant future dystopia, a single video game development company, Regnant Corp, controls an Orwellian society by enslaving the population with their addictive free games. As a rebellious raccoon, along with your llama steed, you'll explore a surreal castle-like office full of enemies, challenges, secrets, and corporate pigs. Break into their headquarters, uncover the conspiracy, and save video games! And another release where the game you are playing is somehow the meta for the game being played inside the game. Wait. I think I just confused myself. Anyways, Cardpocalypse by Gambrinuos is a cleverly set up card battling RPG for $20 about a 10-year-old girl named Jess who accidentally got everyone's favorite pocket monster card game called Mega Mutant Power Pets Master banned during her first day as the new kid in elementary school. Can you imagine that? That would suck. And now, using the mechanics from this card game that looks a lot like Pokemon, you must work your way through a typical 1990s elementary school and undo the problems you accidentally caused. That's pretty neat. And unfortunately, after riding that wave, we're ending this week's new releases with one that I'll never know if it's any good, because it's based on an anime or manga about schoolgirl witches, and I just, I'll do a lot for you, citizens, but I ain't gonna do that. Gensou whatever Skydrift by Unties is a $20, I don't know, kart racer thing where you play as one witch girl from the anime manga thing, which is called Tuhu Project. We'll go with that. You play as one of the anime schoolgirl witches while standing on another anime schoolgirl witch who I guess turns into some kind of flying surfboard when they lay horizontally. And yet, of course, they keep their schoolgirl attire in place and you stand on them and it's kind of like a kart racer. And I'm confused and I'm frustrated that these games, anyways, you know what? That's a thing on the eShop now. Gensou Skydrift, it's $20. Knock yourself out. Is it just me, or were we going like 90 miles an hour and then took a hard right turn with that last one? Maybe next time I'll move some of the new releases around, I don't know. Either way, an awesome week. There's a ton here that I am really excited to pick up. Let me know what you're getting into over on Twitter at Nindie Nation. With the new releases out of the way, it's time to dive into this week's sales, and since last week we had the biggest eShop sale of the year, well, this week is slim pickings with 128 games currently on sale, and only 58 of those are new. But let's do what we do and see if we can't find a few for those of you who need a good cheap Nindie and missed last week's epic sale. Let's see. Well, most of the new releases have like a 15% discount, so, well, that's good. And Coffee Crisis is $2, but that one's almost always 99 cents. Oh, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is finally $20, which is half off, and that's the first time I've seen that one dip below 20% or so. Definitely pick that one up if you'd love a gorgeous 2D action adventure. I know a lot of people who played Monster Boy right at the tail end of last year and put it in their top 5 games of 2018, so, you know, that one's great. We're scrolling. Blazing Beaks is a fun twin-stick shooter. It's 80% off for $3, and I'm having fun with it, but I'm not really sure if I can wholeheartedly recommend it until I spend some more time with it. What else we got here? Kid Trip is $2. We've talked about that a million times. Monospark is still 99 cents, but I'm tired of telling you all to give that game a shot. Video Kid is $1.50, which is 70% off, and it's quite literally Paperboy, but loaded with 80s pop culture references. Like Paperboy, it's really hard, but if you like Paperboy, check out Video Kid. Geez, I never even noticed that. Even the name is a ripoff. And, that's it. Well, I guess after 7 days at their lowest prices of the year, pretty much everything else is full MSRP, so probably not the best week to buy from the eShop's Great Deals tab, unless of course you're picking up one of the new releases. We'll probably see the good deals return next week though. If this week's shorter episode wasn't enough for you, please head over to our YouTube channel, which will soon be merging into the Nintendo Village. Yes, you heard that right. Mommy and Daddy Village are finally adopting Nindie Nation, and while you'll always be able to find the same content from Nindie Nation, before too long, it'll be at a new address. I'll let you know when that happens, but for now, the Nindie Nation YouTube channel is a great place to find Let's Plays of tons of indie games on the Switch, including recent Let's Plays of Biolab Wars and reviews like Monkey Barrels, and look for Children of Morta's review to come soon, and spoiler alert, it's my 2019 Game of the Year. And if Nindie Nation is satisfying your Nindie crave but you're still hungry, head on over to the Nintendo Village, where you can find daily articles, reviews and previews, and other weekly shows. Check them out at thenintendovillage.com or on Twitter at VillageNintendo. Thank you for listening this week. Keep an eye on the Twitter feed for more information about our Children of Morta review, formal move into the Nintendo Village, and much more. Until next week, I'm Jeff. This has been the Nindie Nation podcast, and we had a slim but great week this week, coming right off of an incredible November and the biggest eShop sale of the week. Given all of that great indie goodness, I look forward to seeing you next week, and I am sure until then, you'll have plenty to keep your Joy-Cons synced.